The morning sun streamed through the windows of the corner office as I, Stephen, stood, taking in the panoramic view of the city skyline. The scent of fresh opportunity lingered in the air, mingling with the nervous anticipation that buzzed within me. Promoted to manager, I was determined to make my mark. New beginnings, huh? I muttered to myself, a mix of excitement and unease knotting my stomach. The power to steer this office toward success lay in my hands now, and my mind raced with plans to revolutionize our operations. Stephen, congratulations again on your promotion. Sarah, my enthusiastic assistant, chimed in, breaking my reverie. Thanks, Sarah. It's time to shake things up around here, I replied with a confident grin, though uncertainty flickered in my eyes. I initiated changes right away, inspired by the desire to boost profits and streamline processes. The first order of business. Cutting salaries across the board, a move I believed would streamline the budget and drive efficiency. As I implemented these changes, whispers and uneasy glances followed me around the office. Employees huddled in groups, discussing the sudden turn of events. The air crackled with tension, and I could feel the skepticism in their eyes. Stephen, I understand the need for changes, but this salary cut is hitting everyone hard. Mark, a senior member of the team, voiced his concern during a brief conversation. We're in this together, Mark. Trust me, it's for the greater good of the company, I reassured, my voice faltering slightly as I grappled with the weight of my decisions. Despite the initial pushback, I remained resolute, believing that these drastic measures were the catalyst for our success. Little did I anticipate the domino effect it would trigger the onslaught of resignation letters that soon cluttered my desk, each one a blow to my confidence. I can't do this, Stephen, Sarah confessed, her voice tinged with regret as she handed in her resignation. The team is crumbling under the pressure. This isn't what we signed up for. I stood there, watching her leave with a heavy heart, the weight of my choices settling upon me like a suffocating cloak. The allure of a new beginning had become a tangled web of consequences, and the journey had only just begun. The once bustling office now echoed with an eerie silence, a stark contrast to the usual hum of productivity. The aftermath of the salary cuts had taken a toll, evident in the resignation letters scattered across my desk like fallen leaves in autumn. I grappled with the unforeseen consequences of my decisions. Stephen, we can't keep up like this, Melissa, one of the few remaining team members, approached me with a weariness etched on her face. The workload has doubled, and morale is at an all-time low. I know it's been tough, Melissa. But we're adapting to changes for the company's sake. I tried to maintain a facade of confidence, masking the turmoil brewing within. The burden on the remaining staff grew heavier with each passing day. Projects piled up, deadlines loomed menacingly, and exhaustion seeped into the very fabric of our office culture. During team meetings, the once vibrant discussions now carried an air of tension. Frustration simmered beneath the surface as employees voiced their concerns. We're drowning here, Stephen. David, a young recruit, spoke up, his voice tinged with frustration. The workload is overwhelming, and we're barely keeping our heads above water. I understand it's challenging, but we need to push through this phase. I attempted to rally them, my words ringing hollow even to my own ears. The strain on the team was palpable, and I felt the weight of their discontent pressing down on me. Each resignation felt like a defeat, a reminder of my failed attempt at steering the ship toward success. Stephen, have you considered the impact these changes are having? Rachel, the HR manager, confronted me, concern etched in her expression. We're bleeding talent, and the pressure is becoming unbearable. I'm doing what's necessary for the company's growth, I asserted, though doubt gnawed at the edges of my conviction. As the days passed, the office dynamics shifted. The once tight-knit team now felt fragmented, the camaraderie replaced by a sense of survival in the face of mounting challenges. My pursuit of a new beginning had unwittingly plunged us into a storm, and navigating the turbulent waters seemed increasingly daunting. The office seemed to hang in a precarious balance, teetering on the edge of chaos. The resignation of the janitor, an often underestimated yet integral part of our team, threw us into disarray. With her departure, the impending crisis became palpable. Stephen, we need to find a replacement for the janitor role urgently, Rachel, the HR manager, pleaded, her brow furrowed with concern. But the salary we're offering is deterring potential candidates. I'll see what I can do, Rachel, I replied, attempting to mask my unease. The reality of the situation was sinking in. I had severely underestimated the importance of this role. Rachel tirelessly scoured through her Zooms, conducted interviews, but prospects were scarce. The minimal pay we offered for the janitorial position acted as a deterrent, leaving us scrambling for solutions. We've hit a dead end, Stephen, Rachel sighed in frustration, slumping into a chair opposite my desk. No one's willing to take on the role at this pay grade. We're at a standstill. The gravity of the situation weighed heavy on my shoulders. The chaos in the office was tangible, and the absence of a janitor amplified the growing disarray. The once pristine office began to show signs of neglect, a visual testament to the unraveling of our team. Desperation gnawed at me as I realized the enormity of the void the janitor's departure had left. The HR manager's plea for a higher wage fell on deaf ears, the company's budget stretched thin by my earlier decisions. Stephen, we're at a critical point here, Rachel implored, her voice tinged with urgency. If we don't find a replacement soon, the office maintenance will suffer, and it'll impact the team's productivity. The weight of my decisions bore down on me, and the sense of helplessness gnawed at my resolve. The once ambitious plans for a new beginning now felt like a distant mirage, and I found myself grappling with the repercussions of my actions. Desperate measures seemed inevitable, yet a solution remained elusive. The bustling street outside the office had become a blur, a backdrop to my mounting concerns. Amidst the chaos of the city, my eyes fixated on her young woman, Jane, with a quiet determination in her eyes as she stacked cardboard boxes with precision. "Excuse me," I called out above the city's noise, beckoning Jane with a wave. She continued her work, seemingly oblivious to my attempts to get her attention. "Hey, you there. Come over," I shouted again, my persistence fueled by a burgeoning idea. Yet, Jane remained steadfast, focused on her task as if the world around her ceased to exist. Curiosity mingled with determination as I made my way toward her, the rhythmic chaos of the city fading into the background. The challenge of engaging her sparked a flicker of excitement within me. "Ma'am, I have an offer for you," I shouted, hoping to catch her attention. But Jane carried on, seemingly unperturbed by my calls. Frustration tinged with intrigue brewed within me. What made this woman so steadfast, so resolute in her dedication to the task at hand? The challenge of reaching her piqued my interest, and I persisted, determined to break through her unwavering focus. "Miss, please, I have a proposition," I called out again, feeling the weight of my words in the cacophony of the street. Yet, Jane remained steadfast, her attention solely on the task before her. Despite my efforts, I found myself at an impasse. Jane's unyielding focus intrigued me, a silent strength amidst the chaos. The encounter left me both baffled and oddly captivated, the woman's determination echoing in my thoughts long after the moment had passed. The bustling city street had faded into memory as I stood in the office, my mind still fixated on the enigmatic encounter with Jane. Determination flickered within me, urging me to pursue this unorthodox solution to our janitorial vacancy. "Stephen, what's on your mind?" Rachel, noticing my distracted state, inquired with a furrowed brow. "It's about the janitor position," I began, uncertainty lacing my words. "I might have a solution, albeit an unconventional one." Rachel's gaze sharpened with intrigue. "Go on, what do you have in mind?" "There's a woman I saw on the street, Jane," I explained, hesitation tinting my tone. "She might be the answer to our problem." "A woman from the street for the janitorial role?" Rachel's eyebrows shot up in surprise. "It's an unexpected approach, Stephen." I nodded, grappling with the idea's unorthodoxy. "I know it's unconventional, but she seemed diligent, focused. Perhaps she could fill the position." As uncertainty lingered in the air, I made a decision. The next step was clear. I had to approach Jane again, this time with a more formal offer. The bustling street welcomed me once more, the memory of Jane's unwavering determination guiding my steps. I spotted her amidst the chaos, stacking boxes with precision, as if choreographing a silent dance amidst the city's cacophony. "Miss, I have an offer for you," I called out, hoping this time to capture her attention. The challenge thrilled me, even as doubt lingered in the back of my mind. Jane continued her task, unperturbed by my words. Persistence fueled my determination, and I pushed forward, the idea taking root with each step closer to her. "Hey, I need your attention," I shouted, my voice rising above the street noise. Yet, Jane remained focused, her dedication unwavering. The challenge of engaging her intensified, and I persisted, undeterred by the unconventional nature of my approach. The office's predicament demanded an out-of-the-box solution, and Jane, with her silent determination, seemed to hold the key. The arrival of Jane, the newfound janitor, marked a curious turn in the office dynamics. Her quiet presence amidst the bustling chaos resonated as a silent echo in the midst of our tumultuous environment. "Stephen, are you sure about this?" Rachel, the HR manager, approached me with a furrowed brow, her concern evident. "I believe she has potential," I replied, though uncertainty lingered in my tone. Her dedication on the street spoke volumes. Let's see how she adjusts to the role. As Jane settled into her duties, her diligence and dedication were unmistakable. She worked diligently, meticulously tending to her tasks with a focus that bordered on unwavering determination. "She's surprisingly efficient," Mark, one of the remaining team members, commented, observing Jane's meticulous work. "But she barely speaks, and it's unsettling," Melissa added, voicing the unease that permeated the office since Jane's arrival. Despite her silent demeanor, Jane's work ethic was undeniable. She meticulously cleaned, ensuring every corner of the office sparkled with a newfound vigor. However, her quiet presence seemed to irk some of the colleagues, breeding a sense of discomfort within the team. "Can she even hear us?" David muttered, his voice tinged with skepticism. Rachel, noticing the unease, attempted to bridge the gap. "Let's give her a chance, everyone. She's here to help us maintain a clean workspace." However, despite Rachel's efforts, Jane faced the brunt of subtle mockery and disdainful glances from some colleagues. Her deafness seemed to invite misunderstanding, breeding an uncomfortable atmosphere in the office. As days turned into weeks, Jane's silent resilience amidst the adversity of the workplace spoke volumes. Despite the harsh treatment, she remained undeterred, her unwavering dedication a testament to her strength amidst the disdainful whispers that followed her. The atmosphere in the office had grown increasingly tense, the air heavy with palpable dissatisfaction. The resentment towards my decisions lingered, and a once vibrant workspace now seemed cloaked in a veil of discomfort. "Stephen, there's trouble brewing," Rachel approached me, her concern etched on her face. "The team's morale is at an all-time low, and the tensions are escalating." "I'm aware, Rachel. We need a breakthrough," I replied, feeling the weight of responsibility settling heavily on my shoulders. Amidst the turmoil, Charles, the perceptive CEO, paid an unexpected visit, his keen eyes observing the office's disarray with a discerning gaze. "Stephen, how's the team holding up?" Charles inquired, his voice carrying an undercurrent of concern. "We're facing challenges, but we're working through them," I responded, attempting to maintain composure despite the mounting pressure. Charles nodded, his expression betraying a sense of apprehension. Unbeknownst to me, he was already on the path to unmasking the truth that lurked beneath the surface. The routine check turned into a revelation as Charles delved deeper, uncovering the startling reality: the brilliance behind the exceptional business plan attributed to me was in fact the creation of Jane, the silent janitor. "Stephen, I need an explanation," Charles confronted me, holding up the business plan in question. "This plan bears Jane's meticulous work, yet you took credit for it. Care to explain?" Caught off guard, I struggled for words, the weight of guilt and realization of my actions washing over me. I began, faltering under Charles's piercing gaze, my attempts to justify falling short in the face of undeniable evidence. Rachel stood nearby, her expression a mix of concern and disappointment. "Stephen, this isn't what we expected from you." The truth, now laid bare, left me grappling with the consequences of my deceit. Jane's brilliance, hidden behind her silence, had been unfairly obscured by my actions. The office, once simmering with discontent, now faced an eruption of consequences, as Charles uncovered the stark reality that would change the course of events. The office seemed suspended in a state of apprehension, the fallout from Charles's revelation hanging heavy in the air. My dismissal loomed on the horizon, the consequence of my deceit overshadowing the initial ambitions of a new beginning. "Stephen, Charles wants to see you immediately." Rachel's voice carried a somber tone, her eyes reflecting a mix of sympathy and disappointment. As I made my way to Charles's office, a sense of resignation settled within me. The weight of my actions, and their implications, weighed heavily on my conscience. "Stephen, sit down," Charles gestured, his expression a mix of disappointment and stern resolve. "I understand if this is about my actions," I began, feeling the weight of guilt and regret permeating my words. "Your actions have consequences, Stephen," Charles replied, his voice tinged with disappointment. "You took credit for someone else's hard work. That's unacceptable." "I know, and I'm deeply sorry," I admitted, remorse lacing every syllable. Charles sighed, the disappointment evident in his gaze. "Your dismissal is inevitable, Stephen. You've lost the trust that's crucial in this workplace." Defeated, I made my way back to the office, the reality of my actions settling upon me like a heavy shroud. Rachel and the team looked on, their expressions a mixture of sympathy and disillusionment. "Stephen, what happened?" Rachel inquired, concern evident in her voice. "I made a mistake, Rachel. A big one," I confessed, feeling the weight of my actions crush me. The atmosphere in the office had shifted. The repercussions of my actions rippled through the workspace, leaving behind a sense of uncertainty and reflection. Yet, amidst the aftermath, a glimmer of hope emerged. Charles had recognized Jane's brilliance and resilience. In a surprising turn of events, Jane was offered the role of executive director, her remarkable talents finally acknowledged. "Congratulations, Jane," Rachel beamed, a sense of pride evident in her voice. "You truly deserve this." The office witnessed a transformation, the once tumultuous environment now embracing a newfound sense of direction under Jane's leadership. Her silent determination, once overshadowed, became the beacon guiding the team toward a brighter future. As Jane stepped into her new role, the office began to thrive. Her silent but resolute demeanor, coupled with her unparalleled vision, breathed new life into the workplace. The story that began with deceit and downfall had transformed into a narrative of redemption and resilience, where Jane's brilliance emerged from the shadows, illuminating the path forward for the entire team.